Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome co-founder and CTO Salesforce, Parker Harris.
All right. So how about High Valley? That was pretty cool, right? Really good job. And I'm told by my team they're pretty cute, too. I didn't realize that. Well, welcome, everyone, here in the room. We have over 3,000 people here today. For those in the room, 1,600 of you, you're lucky enough to be here. Great job being on time and making it into the room. For those of you in the overflow rooms, a big shout out to you. We have a number of people who are watching in some other rooms. They weren't able to make it, but we welcome you as well. And I feel like I'm kind of back home here as kind of a family reunion. For me, especially so, because my wife is Canadian. She's from Montreal. And I just saw my sister-in-law here in Toronto. So I have a deep love of Canada with all of you, and really excited to be here with you today. And with that, I want to then thank all of you. And that's something that we do really every time that we meet and every time we come together. We want to thank all of you for your help in coming together with us and really changing the world. I really think we are with what we're doing with the Salesforce ecosystem. And there's some great people in the Salesforce ecosystem, in particular, people we call MVPs. We got some MVPs over here, and Jeff right here. Welcome, and all of the MVPs. Thanks for joining. MVPs are a group of people that we actually select out of the admin community. They are our best and brightest, and they're people that are helping you be successful. And so that's pretty awesome. But that's not the only people helping you be successful, because there's a whole community of people out there. There's a partner ecosystem. There are MVPs, of course. We just talked about that, the success community. User groups, people like David and Radmila and Beth. They're all trailblazers that are part of our community because we can't do it alone. And that's why I thanked all of you, that all of these people are coming together to make you successful and making us successful as a company. 8.5 billion in revenue, or 8.4 billion in revenue. We've grown so much over the years together. And that's something I just want to continue to reinforce, is that it's not Salesforce as a company alone. We're not just looking at our numbers and proud of our success. I'm proud of what we're doing together. And this is just the result of that. This is just what we see as a byproduct of what we're doing together. And speaking of growth, and speaking of Canada, super excited to be here today to announce that we will be launching our Canadian data center in conjunction with Amazon Web Services on, that's right, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Canada Day, that's right. Yeah. Okay, we don't have time for the whole song, sorry about that. But really excited, come July 1st, we will have data residency, we will have data here in Canada, we will have a service here in Canada. First time ever for Salesforce running on Amazon Web Services. Could not be more excited by that. It's pretty awesome. Now, growth is obviously one of our key values, but we have a number of values, and it actually all begins with trust to me. When we started the company, people were just barely trusting credit card numbers on the internet. I don't know if you remember that. Some of you probably are too young to remember that. But yes, at one point in time, people were not trusting credit cards on the internet. And for us, we had to get our customers to trust that, hey, we will secure your information, we will run it reliably, we will make it available, we'll make it run in Canada. Yes, we will. And that's about trust. Growth, of course, we just talked about. Growth is always important to Salesforce. Innovation, near and dear to my heart. Innovation is something we're going to talk a lot about in this program. But let me talk for a second about equality. Really proud to be here in Canada, and I think your Prime Minister, Trudeau, has done an amazing job focusing on equality. His cabinet, equal men, equal women. I hope you all recognize that. I think let's give a shout out to Canada for that. Pretty awesome. For Salesforce, equality is something that actually grew up through our employee base. It's important to the whole company, but through our employee base, things like fighting anti-gay legislation started out with some employees in Indiana that we have, and we fought some policies that were happening there and did some lobbying work that actually had a great effect, and we reversed some policies there. Did that in North Carolina. Equal pay. And I talk about important, shouldn't everyone get paid equally? It's kind of a no-brainer. And yet it doesn't happen, and it takes conscious work to make sure that happens, that we are paying men and women equally. And Salesforce, once again, second year in a row, pays attention to that. We put another $3 million, just taking a look at our salaries. And I think all of you can do that. If there's CEOs in the room, just take a look at your employee base. Analyze it. Make sure you're paying fairly. Because sometimes things get skewed. People aren't doing malicious things. It's just things get skewed. And fix it. Put money where your mouth is and fix that equal pay. Education. We believe the future of equality and the future of really our nation and the nation here in Canada is with our youth. And so we always are giving back to schools. We call it Circle the Schools. And all of you have schools in your neighborhoods and in your communities. You can do that too. You can adopt your local school and make a difference. And we volunteer in San Francisco, we volunteer here. I encourage you to reach out and do that. You know, equality is so important for Salesforce that we have hired what we call our Chief Equality Officer. Tony Profit was an executive, very senior executive at Microsoft. And he said, I'm going to change my career because he had been working with us on the side through our foundation, doing good work together with Mark Benioff and our executives. And he said, I want to do that full time. And so he came and he joined Salesforce full time to be our Chief Equality Officer to make sure that we continue on this path to driving equality. Well, this all began 18 years ago when we started Salesforce. We did something very special. We took 1% of our equity in the company, which was worth nothing, super easy. 1% of our time, no time, because we're 3 people, and 1% of our product, we didn't have a product. But it was the smartest thing we ever did. Because now, look at what we did. 1% of time, 1% of equity, 1% of product is the 1-1-1 model. And over that time, over those 18 years, our employees who get 8 days off a year to give back in their local community, give back to your local school, whatever they want, 2 million volunteer hours, $160 million in grants, 31,000 nonprofits. You know, a great example here in Canada of a nonprofit is the Junior Achievement Organization, really training and helping youth get back to work. And we not only have our employees giving our time to Junior Achievement to help them, we have given them money, and they also use our product for free to actually make a difference for the youth here in Canada. Really, really important. Now let's move on to innovation. You know, over the past 18 years, I've been lucky enough to see a lot of change. A lot of change has happened. We had this brilliant idea where we said, you know, Amazon.com, really cool, store on the internet. Why don't you do enterprise software like that? And we leveraged the cloud, the revolution of the cloud to do that. But since then, there have been a lot of changes. And it's really what we're calling, and actually the World Economic Forum calls, the fourth industrial revolution. Because we've gone through cloud, big change, social, massive upheaval that is not only in the consumer space, but also in the enterprise space, and also with your customers. Mobile, IoT, and AI, all of these changes have created a massive change in the industry, a massive change in customers, and it's made a change in how people have to think about their customers. And at Salesforce, we like to think that what's most important is that you put the customer at the center. Put the customer at the center. When we build software, we're thinking about the customer. When we're selling, when we're servicing, when we're marketing, we're thinking about the customer, and not about the customer in a general sense, not, oh, the generic customer. Everyone is an individual to us. And that's really hard. We want to have a single view of the customer. We want to know everything about each one of you. Each one of you in the audience is a customer. We want to know, well, how are we selling to you? How are we marketing to you? How are we supporting you? You know, who are you? How can we do better for you? It's so important. There are companies here in Canada that are doing just that. You know, Bell Canada is doing that, optimizing the sales process. You know, who wants to wait to get an order process with Bell? You want it to happen really quickly? There are approvals that have to happen. So Bell actually uses Salesforce to speed up that approval process so that their deals can go faster and their customers are happier. That is a successful customer. That's a happier customer. Another company, CAE, you're going to hear about them a little bit more later in the show. They train more pilots in the world. They're based out of Montreal. Train more pilots in the world than any other company. And they had a problem. The pilots needed to come together and understand when the training was happening. They needed to get, you know, pre-briefings, and email wasn't working. And so they used communities to bring all the pilots together to understand schedules, to distribute content, to coordinate. When you walk in, automatically register, don't have to enter a bunch of information. made for happier customers, happier pilots, and more success with CAE. Another great example, there's a lot of innovation happening here in Canada. A great example is a company called Wealthsimple here in Toronto, making a big difference. And what they did, millennials don't want to have to deal with managing their money. They just figure there must be an app for that, right? I must be able to take an app out of my pocket and it's just going to manage all my money. Well, Wealthsimple's doing just that, and they're using the Salesforce platform to do that. They built a mobile app that just automatically manages the money for them. So that's pretty cool. Now, all of these companies are coming together, and they're changing the world. They're changing how they're working, they're transforming, they're changing their customers. And that's creating what we call the Salesforce economy, because there are people that are trailblazers. There's admins, there are MVPs, there are people that are coming together to make this possible, and that's creating a lot of jobs. And it's creating a lot of jobs here in Canada. $3.5 billion in GDP expected by 2018, according to IDC. 30,000 jobs created. 2 of the top 10 jobs are with Salesforce, which just blows me away as a co-founder of Salesforce, that 2 of the top 10 jobs in 2017 are going to be related to a company that I started. So that's just so important to me and so awesome that we're doing more than just building a company. We're changing economies and we're creating jobs, which is really, really important. An example of someone that I actually know pretty well, I see him every year at our big users conference in San Francisco called Dreamforce. His name is TJ McElroy. He is visually impaired. He's a military vet. Through an accident during a deployment, he lost part of his eyesight. And yet with Salesforce, because Salesforce is accessible for visually impaired people, he was able to actually be productive and get a job. And not only that, he was so inspired, by overcoming his disability and getting back into the workforce and getting a job, that he now trains other people who are visually impaired. And he is expanding the Salesforce economy, and he's creating jobs. He's a true trailblazer. Now, if you don't know what a trailblazer is, and you're kind of like, what the hell is he talking about? This trailblazer thing, and who's TJ? You can learn more. Go to trailhead.com. That's where you can learn more about what is Trailhead. Trailhead is a learning system to learn more about Salesforce, to learn how to be an administrator, to learn how to make your sales users more successful, service, marketing, grow your career. Also, 300,000 trailblazers today. We also have a campground on the other side here that you can go to later and check out more. Trailblazers like Nick and Lindsay and Kumar and others. And then you talk to some of our MVPs who will tell you all about what it means to be a trailblazer. So Salesforce has been through all of these revolutions with you. And that's really what inspires me. That's what keeps me ticking the past 18 years, is as we've gone through a revolution of cloud, a revolution of social, a revolution of mobile, a revolution of IoT and AI, we've been there with you. We started with cloud. We said, hey, let's provide a service on the internet. Let's not ship software. We had a party when we started Salesforce, and we were fake handing people CDs saying, would you like to buy some software? As it was a bad thing. But now it's kind of obvious. It's like, of course, I don't want to buy software. What's a CD? Like half of you probably don't know, how physical media, why would you have software on physical media? That doesn't make any sense. But 18 years ago, it did make sense, and we transformed. And all along the way, we created the App Exchange. We came out with Chatter because we were influenced by the social movement, inspired by Facebook, frankly. We were influenced by Amazon, influenced by Facebook. Mobility. What happened when Apple came out with the iPhone? Transformed everything. We have full computers in our pocket. All of you are probably doing work secretly under the table here, so please pay attention. But if you're not, it's because of this mobile revolution. You have a computer in your pocket, and you can do your work from your phone. We had to flip all of the technology at Salesforce upside down and become a mobile-first company. We came out with IoT Cloud to respond to the IoT revolution. And now we're in the middle of this incredible AI revolution. And that's why we came out with something we call Salesforce Einstein. Salesforce Einstein is what we think of for AI for CRM. What does that mean? Well, for 18 years, we've been managing your data securely. July 1st in Canada, I'm going to keep repeating that, managing it securely on our platform, but we've added AI to that. We didn't put it on the side. We don't say, here's your AI buddy over here. You just need to truck your data over to the AI and then bring it back. We do that for you. It's automatically plugged together. And for you trailblazers out there who know the platform is also part of it. So when you want to actually use the power of the platform to customize it, to put it into your workflow, it's right there. Makes it the world's smartest CRM for each of you, how you do your work, and it makes you smarter in sales and service and marketing. And AI is everywhere. You think AI, oh my gosh, what is that? It's natural language. What is that? Well, if you ever use Siri, I'm sure you've used Siri, you've talked to your phone. It's kind of odd, hello phone. But, we talk to our phone now as if it's normal. Well, there's AI. That voice pattern is sent up to the cloud, and some very complex software is analyzing it to understand what in the world you were saying. And sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it does. And that's AI. When you buy a book on Amazon, you buy, anything on Amazon, and it suggests something else, you say, how did they know I wanted that too? Well, that's AI. Well, by 2030, those are simple examples. By 2030, what's going to happen? Well, cars will all be driving themselves, and maybe traffic will be better here in Toronto because no one will be driving. There'll be less cars on the road. I don't know. That would be nice. Maybe manufacturing will be completely automated, so the factories will be faster. Maybe healthcare will be more automated, so when you want a diagnosis on a radiology or an x-ray, it's going to happen instantaneously, and you're going to get faster and more productive healthcare. Maybe for your finances, just like think about Wealthsimple is a really great app on your phone. What happens when you put a bunch of AI in it and it's actually helping you invest and make more money? That'll be pretty cool. So that's the future that we're headed towards, and we're just in it right now. And I think we're beginning the journey. We're beginning the journey with Einstein, and we're also beginning a journey with another company that we've been wanting to partner with for many, many years, and we really found the secret when we started working on AI, and we started talking to a company called IBM. Maybe you've heard of them. IBM, as you know, has an incredible amount of AI in what they call Watson. They've been doing it for many, many years. And what we did is we said to IBM, what if we took the power of Watson and the power of Einstein and brought it together, the power of AI for CRM and the power of Watson for this unstructured data and power of looking at the world, and bring it together to change how you're connecting with your customers. And so with that, I'd like to show a little film to explain it in a little bit better way. So let's shoot the film.
This company is built on a set of values that are extremely important to us. Values like trust, values like growth and innovation and equality.
We have been on an incredible roll, pioneering a market, creating incredible innovations for our customers, and we are executing at scale.
This is the power of what we're doing. And now we're on a major new journey, and it's this incredible new world of artificial intelligence.
2017 is the year that you see AI in full scale in enterprise.
We have some breaking news now on Salesforce announcing a partnership with IBM.
This is Watson meets Einstein. Hey, two real smart guys.
Have you met Watson? What's he like?
This is really a landmark agreement between IBM and Salesforce, two of the most important companies in technology coming together for the benefit of their customers.
Together with Salesforce, we're bringing AI further into the enterprise.
Watson is touching everyone from consumers through areas like healthcare, financial services, and Internet of Things.
Watson has the ability to have artificial intelligence connected to weather. We knew that hail was about to hit, and through the Salesforce connectivity, we can email all those customers, get your cars in the garage now.
It's education, it's retail, it's your everyday life.
I'll give you another example. We have a great joint customer with Kone. They have these amazing new elevators and escalators that are connected right onto the cloud. If the system is determining through Watson that there's a predictive maintenance problem, then through Salesforce, we can roll a truck to get that elevator and escalator fixed right there and then. It's this incredible new smarter world that we're creating together.
Salesforce and IBM share a similar vision. Together, our companies are uniquely matched to bring that future to the present.
Wow, really powerful.